Hey, I'm Carol Pace. I wanted to show you some things that you may not know about that might help you and your students be better prepared for the ACT Aspire. And in this case, I'm talking not necessarily about resource material about the actual subject matter, but I want to show you some things that will help you help your students prepare for the technical aspect of taking these online tests. So let's start out by going to this web address, and it may be difficult to see. It's ACT Aspire, all one word, pearson.com/exemplars.html. And when you finally get all that typed in, you will land right here. And you can see this page has different types of exemplar items. You may or may not have seen these little PDF files that have sample questions, and they tell you the depth of knowledge and things like that about the tests themselves, the questions themselves. And that's really a nice, very good resource that you should look at. But the one I want to focus on is this the Student Sandbox, where they can get in and play. So let's look here at the top of this little part of the screen. We have some tabs that we can choose from. I want to look at the reading, and then I'll show you a couple of things that, like I say, may help you and your students be better prepared. You pick the grade that you want, and the password's almost always going to be ACT Aspire. Looks like it's always going to be that way. And then generally it will be whatever the subject is with the grade number after it. So let's look at the 6th grade reading. And I'll click the Student Sandbox. Let me go back so you can see that. On that same page, we had the Sandbox Login Instructions box. And when I clicked the little blue tab for Student Sandbox, it opened this screen. Okay, so remember, we're going to do Reading 6. So that's exactly what we're going to type in for the username. Let me move my cursor. And then the password is ACT Aspire. All one word. And we can sign in. So here we are. It's going to give us 15 total questions. And the nice thing about these sample tests, it's not going to be particularly long, but you should see every different type of question that the students will encounter. So you'll see what I mean once we get started, because there's different questions. Some of them are laid out very differently. They have to do different things. So here we go with our first test question. Now you see we have a reading passage, but notice that there's a scroll bar, and that this little box inside the box can be scrolled and needs to be. So it's very important to show your students that, to let them know that there will be parts of the test that they need to manipulate and scroll, and it may not be obvious right away. Of course, here then our multiple choice question with our 4 choices. Let's look at another type question. Okay, here again, a reading passage with multiple choice. Now here's one. We have a reading passage, but then instead of multiple choice, we are selecting 3 statements out of these boxes. So your kids are going to do more than one choice on that particular assignment. And again, here's one that's slightly different. We have a reading passage, but here we have a pull-down menu that asks us to choose a particular word. So like I say, this is now here we're comparing 2 texts. So they're going to have to read both, and then they're going to have to click inside this box and type their response in 1,800 characters or less. And those characters, that counts spaces and periods and everything that they might, every keystroke. So as I say, here are different types of questions. Now here's one that's interesting. We're reading, we're scrolling inside the box, and then here we are going to pick out how are places south of the Arctic Circle different from places in the north of the Arctic Circle. And what they're doing is dragging the different choices to the different boxes. So slightly different from your typical multiple choice test. And again, same thing over here. So it's fun to get into these little practice test and just see the different types of things that your kids are going to be asked to do. So now that we have landed on a regular multiple choice, let me show you some of the other tools that are available. Okay, let's start by looking right across the top of the page. We have our two little arrows that let us go backward or forward to the next or the previous question. If we click the Review tab, it will show us all the questions in the entire test. And the ones that I have selected an answer to have nothing in front of them. If it has an orange dot, then I have not chosen an answer. So that's a good way to go and see the ones that you like, or you can click this tab here at the bottom to only see the ones you haven't answered. And then if you have marked any, you can click that. Of course, I don't have any, but any question can be bookmarked by clicking the little bookmark tab. So then if we look at our list again, we see that little blue ribbon. Another couple of tools, of course, this is the pointer, and it's gonna default to that. It's just a simple cursor that we're all used to, but the little X next to it is an answer eliminator, and that will let your student actually click on answer choices to eliminate them. So that helps a lot of students to get things out of the way as they decide what's right or wrong. So that's a nice tool to know about. And if they want to unmark them, they just simply click again, and they unselect or unX them. So that's there right beside our little pointer. And then over here where we see our time remaining and the student name, if we click the pull down menu, there are some more tools in here. First of all, we have a magnifier, and if I click to enable the magnifier, I get this little box in the center of the screen, and I can move that box anywhere, and as you can see, whatever is underneath that box is magnified. Very, very helpful, I would think, for students who may have trouble reading that small font on the screen. And we just click up here to disable the magnifier. Back again to the pull down menu, there's a line reader. Very nice. Let your students narrow everything down to just this one line. If they want to remove more of the screen that's visible, they can click there on the little lines to lengthen this portion of the line reader. And if they want to make this space bigger, they can click over here on the little triangle and make that line reading section larger. So very, very handy for your different types of readers and different types of students. And then back here, I'm going to get rid of that. Back here to our drop-down menu, there's an answer masking tool that once it's on, anytime you come to a multiple choice question, if your answer masker is on, all of your answers will be hidden, and you can uncover them one by one. Very similar to the answer eliminator, but the answer masker is always on once you turn it on, and then you have to go turn it off. So as you go to each new question, you're going to see, if it's a multiple choice question, you will see the mask over all the choices there, if that masker is on. So just a couple of the many, many things that your students may run into on a typical ACT Aspire test. It's just a good idea, I think, to let them get in here and see these different things so that they're not thrown off by these technical aspects. We certainly want them to use all of their power, their brain power, on solving the actual problem or answering the actual question and not worrying about the technical aspects. So I hope this has helped you, and if I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.